football team last night. I mentioned the All-22. Can I talk about and I don't want to, it's a negative play, but I want to kind of explain what I saw on the tape with the fumbled snap.
Okay? Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, and folks, I'm just trying to educate you here. Not trying to defend Dak, not trying to blame Dak, not trying to do just what I saw on tape and my own personal experience of being an offensive lineman and a center. Usually when the ball, you could tell whose fault it is with a snap, a fumbled snap, if the ball goes straight down to the ground, because that means the ball came up and hit the quarterback's top hand and then went straight down to the ground. So you can kind of say, oh, ball got up, it's on the ground, that's on the quarterback right there. What happened in last night, though, and I was in a discussion with some fans this morning too on Twitter about it, that Tart, the defensive tackle, nose tackle for the Titans, was playing really, really tight on the ball. He was, people say, well, he's lined up in the neutral zone. It's just that, I
thot he might have been. He was right there on that ball.
He was right. But the thing about it, what makes him look so tight is he is angled like to where he's cocked a little bit to where he's not head up, but he's off to the side. So he's basically on Broaddus's like right shoulder. So what Broaddus is thinking right here and there is like, okay, he's lined up as what we would call a cocked or an angled nose, and as close as he was playing, Broaddus is thinking, okay, I've got to find a way to get me some space. This guy is giving me, to snap, step, and then engage. Tart had taken all that away from Broaddus on that by his alignment. So all of a sudden now you're sitting there and you're Broaddus, you're thinking, okay, he's at that cock nose, he's on my right shoulder, and he's going to try and go front side A gap on me.
How often is a guy going to line up cocked that way?
Well, the teams will play front side. With the old Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day with your mean green buddy, Joe Green.
Right.
Joe Green used to play when Pittsburgh, they were the first team that I ever saw play with a nose.
They invented the cock defense?
Yeah, well, it was the tilt. They called it a tilt nose, cock nose, whatever.
I like your spin on it.
But see, that's the thing about it is, though, you have to, you're as a center, you're sitting there thinking, he's going to shoot that gap the opposite of me, is what, our opposite to the opposite gap. And so what you have to do is you have to buy yourself space. I don't think that Dak was ready for the technique that Broaddus was going to do to buy him the space. Because what happened, when he snaps the ball, he immediately shifts and throws his hips to the left. And now you see from the end zone copy, you could see Dak's hands away, like that separation from Broaddus. You could see that. So that's why the ball kind of shoots a little to the right.
Got it.
Because there was there was that separation.
Because usually you want the quarterback's hands up on the rear end.
Yeah, and then the ball's going to hit the top hand, and,
sure.
then you operate. Dak, there was that separate. You could see several. His hands are now. Quarterbacks are taught to ride the center though too. They're taught to, like, if they know the center is going to reach. Like, when I mean reach, go front side, play side, you're taught to go with him. Like, his block is going to take him.
You're moving as they move.
You're moving as he's moving. And in this case, he was separated from Broaddus because of Broaddus's moves, the way he took his hips and just flung them to, moved him and to try and keep, because he was worried about Tart coming down inside on him. So that's one of those things where you go, man, that's one of those, these guys have played enough together, though. You kind of know that he's going to make a move like that when he's reaching or scooping. But with this, how tight that nose was to him, I don't think that Dak really thought that he was going to make that move. And
gotcha.
So that was one of the issues you had. Okay, offensive line. Why do you not run the football? Why you're not able to run the football? You think why they didn't run the football?
Well, I mean, look, they got dominated at the point of attack and in the trenches. I mean, you could tell. Look, Terrell Basham, I thought, had a really good game. Sure. Former Cowboy for the Titans, but you could just tell. I thought McGovern was struggling. Tyler Broaddus was struggling. Even Zach Martin. I mean, Tennessee was just winning at the line of scrimmage.
And they didn't have all their horses.
Well, Tennessee's not going to let you run the ball, and you watch their backups and the way that
that's their calling card. That's a Mike Vrabel defense.
That is what they hang their hat on. You physically got beat up front. You really, really did. When it came to the running, there were the opportunities where you saw Davis get that long run and stuff, hat on hat, second level blocks, everybody's secure. That's how we are accustomed to Dallas running the football. We're accustomed to seeing, okay, here we are, we're coming off the ball, we're getting into blocks, now we're turning guys. That didn't happen in this game last night. Dallas lost those point of attack blocks. And it happened, like you mentioned, at center. It happened at guard. There was a couple of times where Tyler Smith got buckled. And Tyler Smith, when he came to play guard late in that football game to make up for the Broaddus loss, that's a struggle. That was a struggle for him yesterday. And I felt like that Jason Peters did a really, really nice job of when he was in there, the touchdown pass they threw to Schultz. It was a really nice job of setting the edge by Jason Peters right there.
I was wondering what you thought when they had to shuffle the line. Once Broaddus got out, you had to kick McGovern inside the center, how that played out.
McGovern was fine. McGovern with the snaps, the engage, the blocks and stuff, he was just fine. Tyler Smith had a struggle playing guard.
Did he?
In this game. Yeah, he sure did. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about with this offensive line and having to deal with the run game. I thought our guy, I know player of the game last night was for us was Tank. Tank was incredible in this game, and we talk about with him his ability to run to the football, to disengage, play on the move. All those things were really they did a much better job too of getting pressure, but the pressure was coming from the slot blitzes and then also some safety blitz stuff. This might be something new that when we see with Dan Quinn is like, listen, if I can't get guys home on the twist or straight rush, slot blitz. Now maybe he was thinking though that Dobbs is not going to, without having a lot of practice or a lot of maybe that he wouldn't understand protections.
Yeah,
but he was bringing that stuff from the backside and hoping, and it did. It got home a couple of different times. Bland, Wilson, those guys all got home and were able to do some good things there. I thought Nahshon Wright, he got picked on a little bit in this game, but I kind of felt like he battled. There was a couple of big plays that he gave up. The one big play that went down the sidelines that right before the half.
Oh, to Burks.
He's got to make the tackle.
Oh, man.
That's just, you make the tackle, the half is over. It's right there. Maybe it's over, or it's going to be a long field goal, whatever. You make the tackle right there. By him missing that tackle and getting up the field, or letting Burks get up the field, then it just allowed you to kick the field goal. They were also in a situation, too, where he gave up another big play. They tried to jump the route. Wilson tried to jump the route and come up, and what happened was, I don't think that when he in coverage, he was thinking that Hooker was going to come quicker. So what happened was they were in that cover 2 look. These are some of these chunk plays they're giving up. So all of a sudden you got one safety that drives forward, and then Hooker's trying to get to the middle, but he can't get fast enough back. Wright's giving like really too much. I mean, he needs to be a little bit tighter, because what happens when he widens, that makes the run even harder for Hooker to get to that spot right there. So there's some of those things technique-wise that you're going to have to deal with this team.
Look, he hasn't played a lot.
No.
So that's going to come with just the more reps and the more playing time he gets, and also playing alongside Hooker and Wilson.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they need more of Sam Williams in these football games. Sam Williams needs to play more. I know last week he got, because of the car wreck that he was in, he couldn't play. This team needs to find a way to get more Sam Williams on the field. Him, Fowler, those two guys yesterday I thought did a really nice job. The defensive ends, Dorrance was standing up doing stuff, but Fowler, Williams, if me personally just watching this tape, I'm playing Sam Williams a lot more in these games. I think that he's a guy. Now,
he's a disruptor, man.
You have to deal with the potential of a roughing the pass or something like that. But he's too strong. He's too explosive, and he's getting a better feel for how he needs to rush, not just up the field, but play with some technique, the twist stuff, how to kind of dip the shoulder, get underneath. he is a really, really good player for this football team.
Yeah,
so,
you saw him coming on against Jacksonville.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're absolutely right. That rotation, he does deserve some more playing time.